Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome to Becoming Awesome. I'm your co host, Ray Thomas. I have my amazing co host, Jenna Lass, and the incredible Kevin Boren, who's our chat mod. This is the final episode of season three, episode eight. We're excited to have the folks over from the Safe Room and the Safe Room security ramp up with us. They're off camera. We'll invite them on in just a minute. Kevin, why don't you quickly introduce yourself? Because I know you're gonna get off camera and then help the chat afterwards.
Yeah, my name is Kevin Bowen. I'm a sourcing recruiter in the worldwide public sector. Lucky enough to actually be on Ray and Jenna's team. I will be in the chat, and we will be taking questions live, trying to answer them in real time. So I'll see you guys in there, and if you have any questions, please pop them in there. And let's make this a social event.
You got it, man. Thanks a lot, Kevin. I'll see you in a few. Hey, Jenna, how are you?
There, yeah, I'm good. It's a bit of a gray day here in the Mid Hudson Valley, but I feel privileged that I think we have a 2-for-1 show today,
I think
right?
so
We
too.
have the safe room and the safe room security ramp up. That's a lot of safe. So maybe we can create a safe space for the safe room to talk about their great work.
Yeah, yeah. Security, I mean, is another thing that's completely top of mind, especially for everyone in the cloud. And looking at the world of cyber warfare, and whatnot, I think this is the team that helps people with helping customers secure their infrastructure with potential attacks. So, really excited to have both of them on.
Yeah, well, let's bring on the safe room and the safe room security ramp up team. We have Shannon, Brazil, and Ben Fletcher. Shannon, why don't you come up first and introduce yourself, please?
Sure. So hi, everybody. My name is Shannon Brazil. I am an incident responder with the AWS CERT team. That's the Customer Incident Response Team. I've been with them for almost, I guess, about 8 months now. I have a background in digital forensics. I have a background in incident response, consulting, and as well as building secure infrastructures. Was there anything else you wanted me to say? Or
oh yeah, we'll dig in. Let's get first a quick intro from Ben.
Yeah, there you go, Ben.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much. And yeah, so I work with Shannon on this AWS CERT. So I'm based over in Dublin, beautiful place, especially the last few days. I previously in AWS was working in premium support, which helped, and specifically on the security services within support. So helping customers when they were struggling with those services or weren't quite sure, or really pushing those services to the absolute edge. And then before that, I used to be in the UK. I was in the Air Force, where again I was working in the sort of cybersecurity area. So this was a natural sort of move across. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, we'll want to get into your show, but just in case there's anybody that doesn't know what these acronym means, CIRT. So we have one of you is an incident watch leader and one is an incident responder. So maybe we can just hear what the difference is.
Yeah.
Ben, you're on the screen.
How you work together.
Yeah, let's start with you, Ben, since you're on screen first.
well, firstly, everybody is a responder, and that's what within the team. Our number one job is to be a responder. So no matter where what's happening, we drop everything if customers need our help. In terms of the watch lead, that is obviously what we're doing is we've got a follow the sun model. So ourselves, we take over from team in Australia, so the EMEA team, and then we pass over to the US. And what the watch leads do is they look for the patterns, they look for the handovers, and look for those sort of from the higher level, what's going on, and if there's patterns that can be seen and things that we can learn collectively. Now everybody does that, but it's just more formalized in that way.
I see that's where your intelligence background in the military must come from. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an engineer as well, it's really important for all of us to while we may be really narrowing down on a challenge, is to take that step backwards, to look around and see what does this mean? You know, how could this have been prevented? Are there things that we can take from this? And you know, it's a constant learning, constant adapting in terms of what we're doing.
So when you're not responding or watching, you're doing shows about security, responding and watching, or are you teaching others how to respond, or just what is the premise of the safe room?
The premise is, and I'll pass this over to Shannon in a second, that our premise is that you never have to talk to us. That's our dream, you know. So we're actually, you know, our ambition as the CERT is to not exist. So you know, the more we can educate, the more we can prevent, because so many of these things are sadly so preventable. And you know, the more we can get the security message out there, and the simple things, you know, a lot of the time the simple things that people can do, you know, means they don't have to have, you know, conversations with us, which is perfect. Shannon, did you want to add on to that?
Yeah, actually, I'd like to piggyback off what you said. So, our biggest dream is that you don't have to contact us, but we're always here. We are 24/7, follow around the sun. We have watch leads that are looking for those patterns. And when we're not doing incident response, when we're off the clock, we are building tools, we're building playbooks for you, we're building workshops for you, and we're building shows that are based off of the trends that we're seeing and the things that you're wanting more from us.
Excellent. Now, what's interesting when we look at security and working with AWS in general, we have the shared responsibility model, right? So something's unique about with CERT, right? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so the customer incident response team is exactly what the name means. It's the customer side of the incident response team. There's two sides of the AWS shared responsibility model. It's the customer side and the AWS side. Our team strictly works alongside of our customers with ongoing security events. This means that if you are having an issue and you don't know what to do, there's, you know, an normal amount of activity that you're trying so hard to dig into the documentation and you know, you just need help. We are a free service that you can essentially ring us up through AWS support and we'll be on your side. Our job is to be on your side 100% of the time and make sure that your data is secure, your infrastructure is secure, and we'll help you rebuild if necessary. We'll help you implement better security postures, provide you recommendations, and essentially just, you know, be that calming voice in the room.
Is it free unlimited support? Is there like a limitation to this, or?
There's no limitation to us requesting AWS support, no matter what tier you're on. If it's a small little event where you're unsure of either a configuration issue or it could be like a huge event that is just about to kick off and you just don't know it yet. If you're uneasy, unsure, and you don't know where the documentation is, if it takes you more than 5 minutes to recover or to mitigate or anything, that's when you pick up the phone. That's when you send us a request. That's when you get us on your side, because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be.
Gotcha.
So how do you come up with the topics that you present? I think I read or heard something about community driven. So really curious how you get your content and material.
Yeah, so our content is community driven. Not only do we look at the trends of the requests that are coming in and the issues that we're helping resolve, but I personally myself will do polls on Twitch and LinkedIn to see what everybody is really looking for, what everybody's interested in, and then conduct research and create content based off of what is the most interesting and groundbreaking topics that we might see within this environment.
Excellent.
Do you have any examples of kind of the diversity of those topics?
Yeah.
Level?
Yeah, so we will actually, so some of our topics or some of our episodes that we've done so far are workshops. We've gone through several of our publicly available workshops that our team has worked really hard to create. These are simulated attacks within the environment. We'll walk you through, give you additional insight, some advice, and kind of introduce you to the tools that will help you just help mitigate and analyze and detect some of these incidents. And then we also go across different security trends, such as trying to find persistence within AWS, the misconfigurations, common misconfigurations of AWS. We'll have, we just recently did an episode with internal AWS team, the AWS Shield team. So it gave customers a really good review of the difference between standard and advanced. And then we also have other topics such as specific logs that you're going to want to look at and log for incident response and analysis. We also do some other topics that I can't really tell you right now because we're only halfway through, but I'm pretty excited, such as forensics. Oh, it's going to be really great. I'm excited for those.
Ooh, forensics.
What's the difference between the two shows? Can we dig into that? Let's start, Shannon, since you're up here, right? Like, who should be watching, and what is the main difference from your show? And then we'll have Ben come on to talk about the subtle difference on his end.
Yeah, so the main show, the Safe Room, is mostly catered for individuals that are located in North America because that's the time slot that we do have. However, they're always available on demand for anybody to view them at any point. Additionally, what we focus on is not only the enthusiasts for cloud environment and cybersecurity, but also professionals that kind of want to get a refresh or kind of want to understand the new trends or security events that are coming up. So we try to focus on, the all individuals that are interested in AWS CERT, and we don't dive into into rocket science. It's very lighthearted conversation. We try to get everybody involved in determining how to resolve a particular situation and what tools you would use, and we just love to share knowledge, and whether that's through tools or workshops, that's how we'll do it.
Awesome, thank you. And Ben, you're out in Dublin, Ireland. So can I assume that yours is in a different time zone than hers as well?
Yeah, so we're 11 a.m. sort of our time, so it captures more of the EMEA, APJC in India time. It would be little bit early for Pacific Coast specifically. Well, that was a mouthful. But I mean, the two shows are absolutely complementary. The sort of vision for so the security ramp up. So the Safe Room security ramp up is a spin-off of the Safe Room is the original and has been going for 3 series. This is new. 4, apologies, 4. 4 series. And the idea of this is, the cloud train is moving rapidly. It's really, really quick. When I first got my AWS account, there were 60 services. Now there's 250, and it's, I know so many people who want to jump on that train but just don't know where to start. And I really want to. That was the premise of this show. That it's a journey. You're never going to get to the end. It's constant learning. Shannon and I were discussing this, a few days ago about a new service that came in and how good it is, but again, the change is so quick, and so what the idea of this show is, again, there can be people really far down their security journey or just starting their security journey. Everything's intended to be approachable, very light-hearted. I've created an amazing startup called Dragon Cat and Dragon Roo. And we talk about how we create that environment and secure it and all those sort of things. So it's just supposed to be for those who want to get onto that cloud, onto that cloud train, as I call it, but don't know where to start. This is intended for that, but absolutely complementary to, you watch the safe room, and some of the stuff they're talking about is absolutely incredible, but even some of those little concepts you may not understand, and that's what we're trying to do, is build that foundation. So yeah.
I just hear journey and being safe. It's like, buckle up, people. This is the seatbelt class, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. And
free seatbelts.
it's just incredible, the innovation and the security services and all the services that AWS has to offer. And it just, and lots of people feel that sort of challenge, that sort of barrier in terms of learning, and the more we can help them and help them along this journey, because we've all been there. We all have sort of confidence of sort of crisis confidence of how much the sort of environment changes, and keeping up to pace with it.
So we got to talk about your team logo quickly. Dragon cat. How did you come up with that? You got a cat with a fireball, and then you got on the other end literally a rainbow and the wings and a unicorn. So talk to me about that.
Then I'll let you do that, because I had no say in this. This was long
and
before
this was before my time. But what I will say is our boss, who was part of sort of the instigation of the team, he has a bit of a phobia towards cats. Ailurophobia is actually the terminology for this. I know this because I've got somebody in my startup called Miss Ailurophobia. So he's not a particular fan of cats, but he loves dragons. So there's a sort of amalgamation of all that. We also have descriptions in terms of the dragon cat. So, for example, it continuously barks pub, which is not a sort of invitation to go for a drink. It's actually patch update and backup. So there's a whole story behind this, and it engages people, and our team was sort of formed out of this. It was also the code word for the team, because the team was announced about a year and a half ago. Before that, it wasn't public knowledge. So that was the code name for the team, and then it came out, and already we had a logo for it.
That's amazing, and it's quite funny because you mentioned that my wife has a phobia of cats as well. She's deathly afraid. Will not go into anyone's house if there's a cat unless they're locked in another room. And if we see it on the street, she will walk on the other side of the street. So it's real. Yeah, she's been like this forever.
Don't go to Greece, because they're all over.
They are.
Yeah, everywhere. Amazing.
So what kind of feedback have you both gotten from your show?
Go, Shannon.
Oh, I'll go first.
Yeah.
So we've gotten some really interesting feedback. Not only do we do the shows, we also do the creation of the tools and the workshops and the playbooks for customers. So we've gotten feedback on those individual items. But the show specifically, we've gotten feedback. I mean, I've gotten personal LinkedIn messages saying how useful the workshops were, how useful the playbooks are, and how they've decided to fork the playbooks and use the workshops to enhance their own incident response lifecycle. Additionally, not only are we getting feedback from our customers externally, but we're also getting feedback internally with the teams that we work with alongside. So AWS support and the SAs and the TAMs, the technical account managers, where they're using our playbooks and they're using the content that we're creating to bring more awareness to the customers and get them in a better security position within their own environments, and using those as exercises for the customer to help identify gaps in their incident response process.
Excellent. Now, is this who would benefit from this? Primarily external, or did you have internal users, internal employees here that found great use of your show as well? Or we talk about that?
Yeah, actually, recently I had someone internal, so a solutions architect, that have reached out to our team, the CERT team, who was requesting if there was a show that was recorded for AWS misconfigurations. And I was like, oh, how about that? I'm actually doing that tomorrow. You should join, and you should get your customer to join, because this is the exact topic that we'll be putting on, and it'll be live, and we'll be able to provide you the content, and we'll be able to provide you the resources and the on demand when and if a customer isn't available to watch it. So our topics are not only externally driven but also internally driven to what everyone is really asking for.
And how about you, Ben? Have you gotten any feedback from your show yet?
Yeah, absolutely. I should actually, I could grab it in a sec. I shamelessly bribe people to give feedback. So I have Dragon Cat stickers with security, the Safe Room security ramp up that I post out. I do a draw each week in terms of those who've provided feedback. So it's a good way of motivating, and of course you get a free sticker. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the common theme is just while we have a plan on the show, we really react to the questions that come in through the channel, and try to really address those, because that's what we want. We want all those questions to be asked, but also when we turn it to real life, we give real life examples, and how do we, how would you architect this? What the thought process is. So just the real life examples have absolutely been where we've got the best feedback from that.
I'd like a sticker, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll send you the emails for the feedback.
Yeah. I would love a Dragon Cat on my laptop and just show it to my wife and see if she's afraid of that, because that would be, something else to see her face.
So funnily enough, a few of the presenters, or who've joined me, guests have said, "Oh, Ben, can I have a sticker?" And I was like, "You know the rules. Enter the draw." No, there's still a couple of them are waiting. So I'll send you the email. I can't change the rules for you, I'm afraid.
Amazing.
So do you have any favorite shows on Twitch that you watch in terms of security, just to learn more about the field and keep yourself abreast as well?
Yeah, I really enjoy the builder, the builder, the actual the building ones. I think the quest one that Aaron does is superb as well. I always marvel at sort of while it looks very casual, they've put so much sort of preparation into that, and Shannon and I discuss it again. It's there's a lot of effort in, as you both know, to preparing the Twitch shows, and some of them I just absolutely marvel at, in terms of how the ease at which they run their shows and how it's so fluid. It's certainly always sort of trying to look at how they do it, and replicate the masters, as it were.
Yeah. Well, be a unicorn in a field of horses, or in a field of cats in your case. Dragon
cats.
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes
Thank you
left.
for sharing your playbooks too.
Yeah.
There seems to be some appreciation for that in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we have just a little over 5 minutes left, so I really want to get to know you both outside of the CERT team. So tell us a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind sharing anything personal, say anything. It could be maybe somewhere you're planning on visiting, something you love to do often, what's your story?
Yeah, I'll go first. So I live in Canmore, Alberta. If anyone doesn't know where that is, it's about 20 minutes from Banff. Banff is known to be a huge hotspot for vacation places and visitation worldwide. It's within the Canadian Rockies. I moved here halfway through COVID. I got stuck in my little condo apartment sharing with my fiance, and when you don't have mountains to climb, which we're avid climbers of mountains, we're avid campers and backcountry campers. So when you didn't have that during COVID, you just go a little stir crazy. So we decided to move out to Canmore because we're both working remotely. So why not? And it was only supposed to be like a 4-month stint, and we ended up just buying a house and staying. We're, like I said, we're avid hikers. We absolutely love the outdoors. We've hiked most of the mountains around here. We don't ski yet. We're kind of baby gazelles right now, but we'll get there. We do love paddling and just camping everywhere. And, well, that's pretty much it for me. You know.
Awesome. Very cool. Jenna's a nature person. I can't hike at all. I'm pretty out of shape because of COVID. At least that's what I'll blame it. I'll blame COVID for that. But Jenna, I've seen.
Yeah, I'm in the Adirondack area, the Catskills, Shawinigan, and the Adirondack area. So I'll have to hit the Rockies. That would be. I did do the Colorado Rockies, but I'll have to hit the Canadian Rockies.
You should. Yeah, the Adirondacks was our playground because that's only a 3-hour drive from Ottawa, where we used to live. So, but definitely come check out the Canadian Rockies.
Yeah,
it is a very cool place to be.
Yes, thank you, Alex.
And Ben, what about you?
I completely concur with what Shannon's saying about going stir crazy during lockdown. Very fortunate. I live in a place called Howth, which is a peninsula north of Dublin. So and you're allowed about 5 miles out, which was fortunate. That was kind of the area. And again, just I love getting out there, running around. There's you're running along cliff paths. There's a lighthouse there. There's a lot of tourists who come there. It's we spend a lot of time on computers, and it's so important to get out, free up that mind, get into that sort of creative thinking, because we're constantly problem solving. So having that mixture, having those breaks, having that incorporating physical activity in your day-to-day life is to me absolutely key and really important for what I do. So I'm very fortunate that I can cycle into work and then cycle back. But I'm close enough to town to go out and enjoy the facilities and the pubs and all that good stuff. But at the same time, just beautiful, stunning scenery outside the door.
So
are you in a home office now, or is that an AWS office?
This is the Dublin office. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So it's funny, you both are talking about these incredible views and whatnot, right? So I saw a funny reel that hit me hard, which it says breathtaking views, because you're literally out of breath by the time you get there, right?
Yeah.
So like, that is me. That is exactly how I feel.
Yeah. It's funny because when we were in the Adirondacks, Ottawa is only at about 90 meters above sea level. Adirondacks, you're hitting up about like 2,000 meters. But then when you go to Canmore, you're 1,300 meters above sea level, and then you're climbing a 2,000 meter mountain. So you're about 2 kilometers closer to the sun. Not only do you burn faster, but you are out of breath faster. And oh my Lord, I thought I was out of shape, but I'm kind of used to it now, I guess.
Incredible. So we have just about a minute left. Any last words? Can you quickly just recap, when they could watch your show, Shannon?
Yeah. So my show airs every first and third Friday of the month. We do 2 shows a month. They are 2 p.m. Eastern, or 11 a.m. PST, or 7 p.m. at GMT. I will always do a broadcast of the show, or if you miss it, you can always catch us on demand. You can always follow me on Twitter here. My thing's right there. And just feel free to reach out to us. There's various different ways you can reach out to us. If you watch our shows, you'll understand how. But we'd be super excited to have you all to join us and to ask questions and to participate in our content.
Awesome. And a few seconds left, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. And mine, well, this Thursday, 11 a.m. GMT +1. So please join us. And it's every 2 weeks, so it alternates with the Safe Room. Really looking forward to seeing you.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much for sharing about your show and, of course, sharing a little bit about yourself.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Great meeting both of you. Have a great one. Thanks, Kevin.